Hey yogis, today we're just going to be doing a quick standing practice. So we can do this practice anywhere. So if we're at work and we can find a space to kind of practice, or at a park, if you're out somewhere where you don't want to be rolling around on the floor like the beach or something. So it's just a great practice that you can do even without a mat. We're just going to go through some nice standing stretches, a little bit of flow, and not ever come down to the floor. So you can do this anywhere. So we'll see you on the mat or not. Awesome. So starting here at the top of our mat, let's just slowly roll the head side to side. Rolling through the front, up to the other ear. And loosening it up. Awesome. And I might reach over, grab the left side of my head and gently pull here. I can flex my left hand back to get this little extra stretch on the side of the neck, but I'm not yanking my neck down. It's really gentle. And gently release, switch sides. Good, and then just gently nod the head yes. And turn the head no. It's my first yoga of the day, so my neck's all crackly. Awesome, let's just move into the arms a little bit. So making some big arm circles here. Working out those shoulders. If you don't have as much space, you can always grab on to the elbows here too, and that won't take up as much room. Let's take it in the opposite direction. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands behind the back here, just do a gentle little hold on the hands, pulling the shoulders back. Bring the feet a little bit wider than hips and a gentle roll forward as we bring the hands high. Allow the head to drop down. Just kind of stretching them out, maybe bending deep into the right knee, leaning a little bit to the right side. And vice versa, taking it over to the left. Beautiful. Release that. Bring it all the way up to the top. Shake it out a little bit. All right, and we'll start with a little bit of flow. So all the way up at the front of our mat, totally up to you whether you want to stand with your big toes together and the heels about an inch apart, or step the feet as wide as the hips, whatever works best for your body. Finding our strong mountain pose though, let's make sure we engage the legs, pressing into all four corners of the feet. Tuck that tailbone under, pull the belly button in, shoulders roll up and back. Holding here for a moment, take a few big breaths in and out through the nose, really reconnecting with breath here. Taking a moment to settle into breath practice before we begin to flow more. Beautiful. We'll begin our flow. Inhale, reaching the hands overhead. Exhale, grab the right wrist, pull it over to the left side as I press my hips to the left, or to the right. All the way back up to the top. And switch sides. So we'll pull the left wrist to the right, hips to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, reach behind. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold it forward, letting the head fall. A little bend in the knees is good here. Inhale, walk the hands up. Find a flat back as we press the pelvis back behind us. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, reaching back up to the top, hands overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that whole flow one more time. Inhale, reaching high. Grabbing the right wrist, exhale, pull to the left. Inhale to the top. Switching sides. Inhale up. Exhale, reach behind you. Find a little back bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, folding it forward. Let the head drop. Let everything become really heavy here. Inhale, lift to a flat back. Look forward. Exhale, fold it back down. Inhale, reach those hands up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. So we're all the way back up to the top. Just shake it out a minute. We're just kind of loosening up the spine, so that should start to feel a little bit better. Start engaging with the legs a little bit here as we reach the hands up overhead. Exhale, fold it forward. This time we'll take the right foot, step it all the way back. Stepping out to the side just slightly, so we've got a nice 45-degree angle with the feet. So my front foot's forward, my back foot's 45. And I'm not standing on a tightrope, but I've got that back foot stepped out to the side a little bit, more like railroad tracks. So my legs aren't in a line. Great. I'm going to take this right hip, press it forward as much as I can as I pull this left hip back and sink into this knee. Now notice my knee's not going out past the ankle. Make sure it's stacked right on top. Hands can remain on the hips, or we can reach the hands up overhead for our warrior one. So just holding here, we're activating this quad. We're really stretching through the outside of this back leg. And we're getting a little bit of hip stretch by opening and rotating these hips forward. Keep breathing here. Noticing my hands are way up by the ears, and my shoulders are way down away. So I want to make sure that I'm engaging and pulling the shoulder blades back so my chest remains open. And we don't want to crowd the ears like this. That's not very fun anyway. So keep it all relaxed. Awesome. Reaching back behind, same grab we had earlier as we pull the hands together. Pull the shoulder blades back, opening the chest, and then drop everything down. Let the head fall. A little humble warrior here to shake it all out. Stretching out the shoulders, especially if you're doing this at work. We've got to stretch out these shoulders more often. Good, and all the way back up to the top. Awesome. Let's just step it all the way up to the top. Shake out the legs a little bit. Beautiful. Finding that flow to the other side as we inhale, reach the hands up high. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, fold it back down. Let's take the left foot, step it back and out to the side a little bit. Again, finding that warrior one on the opposite leg. Checking our alignment. My feet are off balance. I've got a little bit of train tracks here. I've got a 45 in my back leg. Got this knee stacked in front as I push my left hip forward. Opening the chest here. Hands can stay on the hips if our shoulders are tight, or reach those bad boys up high. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And checking in on the breathing, slowly breathing in and out through the nose. Keeping your focus here. Good. Slowly, I'm going to reach the hands back around behind me. Again, pulling those shoulder blades back as we find humble warrior on this side. Letting the head fall, really trying to reach those hands up as far as it feels comfortable, just knowing your body is going to do its own thing, and that's okay. Good. Slowly coming all the way back up. We'll release the hands, step it up to the front of the mat, and come up to the top. Good. Hands to heart center here. Take another moment to reconnect with breath, taking 3 long breaths as we press into the feet and lift into the crown of the head. Beautiful. Inhale, reach those hands up. Maybe find a little back bend. Exhale, fold it forward. This time we'll find a little twist as we bring the right hand down to the mat, bend deep into this right knee, and take this left hand up towards the ceiling or the sky. Good. Slowly switch it out. Good. And we'll take that left foot, step it as far back as we can, this time keeping the feet in line as I walk over towards center. So my heels are turned in, or I'm sorry, my heels are turned out, my toes are turned in. I'm going to just take this nice forward fold. So you don't have to bring your hands to the ground if you don't want to. You can always just kind of dangle, grab opposite elbows, maybe grab ankles here, or you can reach onto the floor. If you can't reach the floor just yet, that's okay. You can always grab something nearby, like a coffee table, or, just let yourself dangle. We're just getting a nice stretch in the hamstrings here, a little bit of hip opening. Allow the head to relax. And we'll bring the hands to the hips. Find a really flat back here as we rise up to the top. Good. Heels are turning in now as my toes turn out. And we'll sink it low to a nice goddess pose. So my knees are reaching outward. I'm not allowing them to kind of cave in towards center. They're pressing out. I've got my pelvis tucked underneath so it's not pushing back out behind me like this. Nice and in line here. Good, and we can just sink it low, keeping our arms up here like cactus arms. Make sure we're breathing, again, engaging the quads here. You've got this. Good, and we'll just take a quick little side body stretch. So bring this right elbow down to right knee, take left arm overhead. And gently switch sides. Good. Back up to the top, sink lower for just one breath. And reach it all the way up. I love to take a big stretch here as I reach arms out. Open that chest, take a big breath in. Awesome. Let's do one more forward fold. Hands are going to come back to the hips as we turn the toes in, heels out. Keep the chest lifted here as we fold it forward. Allowing the head to drop. So again, your hands can come down to the ground, or if you're not trying to touch the ground, they can try to reach for ankles. We're going to do a little twist here. So my left hand's going to stay on the ground. My right hand will reach up towards the ceiling, or I can keep that hand on the hip if that's painful on the shoulder. Other options to reach across from my right ankle, just know that that's going to be a deeper twist. So do what feels right for you. And slowly, gently switching sides. Good. Slowly finding our flat back, hands on the hips as we come to the top. One more goddess pose, sink it in. It's a really good grounding pose. It helps us really connect with our roots and sink in. That's why I love it. So staying low this time, hands are going to come onto the knees, and we'll just do a little bit of a twist in the shoulders. So I'm just dropping my right shoulder forward, a little bend in my left elbow. Get a little stretch here. Make sure I'm sinking into the heels, reaching that tailbone down. And other side here. Beautiful. Back up to the top, sink it low. Good, reach it up, opening. Awesome. Beautiful. Let's turn, pivot to the front, step it all the way back. And we're back to where we started. We'll just do a quick little balancing pose before we do a quick cool down. So tree pose is probably one of my favorite poses because you can really do it anywhere. I do it while I'm cooking, while I'm doing work, whatever, because I can kind of just prop myself up and stand there for a long time. So if you need to use a chair or a wall to hold on to while you're first learning this pose, that's okay. We can also do modified positions. So I'll start you from the beginning. Let's plant this left foot down into the ground. Toes are spread wide. My right foot's coming onto the toes as I turn my right knee out to the side. And we can stay right here, pulling the belly button in, bringing the arms up, we're strong and stable. Other options to bring the foot to the inside of the calf. Or we can lift all the way up onto the inside of the thigh. But I just don't want you to press into the knee. So if we're here, try to drop it below or above. Let's not bring that weight into the knee in any way. So once you find stability here, make sure we're pulling in the belly button, staring at something right in front of you that's not moving. That's going to help you find focus. And you can keep the hands here at heart center, or you can expand the branches up above, find your full tree pose. Wherever you are, just make sure you're breathing. Excellent. And we'll release, reach everything out. Big star pose as we expand through the fingertips and reach through that right foot. Awesome. Bringing it down. Let's shake it out. And we'll bring everything over to this right foot. So planting again, really making sure we've got a strong foundation before we even begin to lift into this left foot. So right foot stable, come onto the left toes, turning that knee out to the side. This is really important for that hip stretch, the hip opener in this pose. So you can keep the toes on the floor. You can come up to calf or bring it all the way up to the thigh. Again, hands can stay at heart center, focusing forward, belly button drawn it. Or we can reach those hands up overhead. Breathing. You've got this. Awesome. Release. We'll reach everything out. Reach, 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 reach. Good. And bring it all the way back down. Shake everything out. Good. We're pretty much almost done. We're just going to cool it down a little bit. Now, normally I would take you down to the floor for a cool off, but we're trying not to get ourselves dirty if we're in a place we can't roll around on the floor. So let's just take a few moments here to stretch everything back out. I like to do some twists on the floor normally, but let's just take the feet out a little bit wider than hips here. And we'll just sway these arms out to kind of get a little subtle twist on the spine. Awesome. Let's open the hips a little bit, turning the heels in, toes are out. We'll sink it down to a nice yogi squat here. So Malasana pose, yogi squat. We're trying to keep the heels on the floor, so we might need to play around with walking it out wider or bringing it in closer, depending on your body type. If you can't get the heels on the floor just yet, that's okay. That's pretty normal. We don't usually squat down like this. You might, if you have a mat, roll it underneath the heels a few times to get you some extra cushion. Good. If you need a little balance, you can keep the hands on the floor or a little extra hip opener. You can bring hands to heart center and use the elbows to really press this open. And just breathing. When I traveled a lot in Southeast Asia, this is how people would sit, especially in Vietnam. They just sit on these little stools on the floor. So everyone's really good at this pose. Good, and dropping the hands down, bringing the tailbone high, release the head here. Feet should still be a little wide, so we've got balance. Grab opposite elbows here and just sway it out. Head is fully released, shoulders are relaxed. Just sway a little bit in the knees is okay if you need it. Awesome, and release. We'll find a flat back as we come all the way up to the top. And shake it off. Now, if we were practicing on the floor, now's when we would take Savasana and really relax into our final pose. If you can't lay down where you're at, maybe just find a quick place to sit down and just have a few moments of breathing and resting the mind and resting the body before you continue on with your day. So you can sit here on the mat if you're somewhere where you can use it, or find a nice seat in the office, on the beach, and just reconnect with yourself for a moment before you conclude the practice. Our ending Savasana is really important just to make sure we're reconnecting with the mind, breath, body connection, and that we're allowing the body a moment of rest after all of our hard work. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe to this if you're watching on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, and check out the blog. I've got tons of other information outside of yoga. We do lots of wellness and mindfulness and self-development. So join me over there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.